Be ready to change yourself. Be ready to challenge your better self. Know that your mind can develop a passionate winning spirit, but not by yourself. We guarantee your family in love with your life, and you're gonna love all the grind. Lewis and Bars together, we develop your mindset with vitamin C for your mind. Don't you settle with what you know. There's much to learn, there's much to earn. Tell yourself I'm ready to fight, ready to be heard. Out of success and awakening rise. There's so many words that turn into prices. Be ready to change for the best. Step up and be great. Don't be like the rest. Develop your mindset.
Hi everybody, we're back. We are Develop Your Mindset podcast. We're here another Saturday. Always we're got lots of interesting perspective, point of views. As you guys know, we talk about stuff happens in the company, Kabartsi, and we put all in questions, and we're gonna sit and talk about what happened, how it happened, what we're doing about it, what it takes to run a company, run a system, have a team, and sometimes things happen and we have to work on what's going on and fix it, and it's an ongoing thing, right? So this is what we're gonna talk about this week. And before we start, Luis is here with us also as well.
Yeah, here I am. So hi everyone, welcome back to another episode, and a lot has happened this week, and man, can't wait to get into it.
So this is number 64 podcast, and we've been doing it for a while now, and let's proceed. And so basically this week we're going to talk about something like this. This is I translated from Armenian to English. Bear with me. I hope it makes sense. So it goes like this: when you turn the corner from losing, you become the winner. I hope people understand this one. Basically, this is a saying, like it's even much shorter in Armenian, because the thing is, sometimes we do something, we invest somewhere, we take chance something, and not even in the middle of it, like in the early on stages, you realize that this is not gonna work. So you're like, shoot, I invested money, time, everything. What should I do? But basically, this saying is saying that when you turn the corner from losing, you become the winner. Basically, as fast as you realize, you identify the loss is gonna start, and then you cut it off, and then that's when you become the winner. Meaning, you stop the bleeding, you stop the losing. You become the winner at that point, even though you lost something, of course, So this is a very meaningful saying, and I hope it makes sense to you. So the moral of the story is, don't be afraid of doing the taking chances, doing new things, but you have to be aware. If it's not working out, you gotta kind of not continue, and make sure that you don't lose more than you're already lost. Don't continue losing. You don't need to go a little bit more to see if it's gonna work out or whatnot. This kind of helps if you have experience in it, but also you have to be very very hard on doing the business, because when you're hard, you don't linger too long. You just measure your situation, and you kind of terminate the situation, the work, and that's going to help you not to lose anymore. So that's the moral of the story.
Yeah. So when you turn the corner from losing, you become the winner. So pretty much implying that you're always going after things, you're always pursuing something. I hope you are. So you're always on some sort of journey, and so sometimes you start to realize that things aren't going so well, but there's a part of you too that would like it to work, but at the same time you have to be very strategic and very analytical and see the situation and be like, okay, can this actually improve in the long run, or is this something that I have to just end now and just pretty much terminate that, and maybe you have to go back to the beginning, start from scratch, or maybe you have to take another route. But either way, you're pretty much turning the corner. And so at this point, you sort of accept that, okay, you know what, I lost what I lost, and sort of pretty much just be okay with that fact, and just move on, and prevent any further losses. And once you prevent those further losses, then at that point you've pretty much you can call this a win in a sense, because you're winning by not actually losing even more than what you've already lost. And so you have to be very careful with this, and you have to be very aware of what's going on in your journey, because sometimes you tend to get attached, or you tend to get very emotional about it, or sometimes you don't want to accept the fact that you've already lost this much, and you have that belief, that hope that somewhere down the line you may be able to get that back if you continue this road. And it could also be part of your you're invested into the idea or whatever it is, the journey. And so those things may all be preventing you from dropping that. But you have to be very assertive and very logical, and like I said, strategic, to realize that, hey, you know what, this is something that's not going to work. I might as well just accept the loss that I've acquired so far and prevent any more, and instead go in a different direction that is more promising, and that looks like the opportunity over there is much higher. So
Yeah, this is growing up. I heard this kind of saying from my dad a lot, and now for a long time I'm doing this kind of work. And next is love yourself enough to love others. That means you have to understand what love is. There's all kinds of different loves. There's love well, let's put it this way. There's multiple different levels of loving. You can love your pet, you can love your son, daughter, wife, brother, sister, mom, dad, on and on and on. You love your car, you love stuff, but the most important is you have to love yourself. If you don't have enough self-confidence, self-esteem. So you have to develop that first. Then you can give love to others, you can love different things. But a lot of times what happens is, like especially when people are younger, when they don't have enough self-esteem and everything, they start giving more than they give themselves or they receive, and this could cause a lot of confusion in your head, and you get this place where for me, I remember there was like I used to get to this place where there was space, almost like void, and I didn't understand what was I thinking, what should I think, what should I dream about. It was a little bit of confusing. So I had to learn about loving myself and respecting myself, and then slowly that start going out of me to whatever was important, and that kind of taught me so many different ways of thinking and understanding, and the void start diminishing slowly, and then today I don't have any. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to have a void in my head. I am very sharp, very on point when it comes to what to love, what not to love. First, because I love myself, I understand myself, I respect myself, and then that translate out of me, right? And yeah, this is why, because the thing is, when you get into doing business, when you get into creating a team and people around you, all kinds of the dynamic is a little bit different. It changes. It's like people are putting their time, effort, and energy, and when the love is not there, and also the what was the word? We did freaking like podcast about this. Love and compassion. Yes, the word. If it's not there, it's like there's a heaviness, and people will start getting sour towards that person, and they're no one's expecting anything from anyone, but also they're expecting that if they do some like really good job, just to get little recognition, and we understand all these big companies, they have all these seminars, all these gatherings, all this, giving recognitions and everything. There's a purpose for it. There's a reason for it. When you recognize someone doing such a good job, then that person's going to feel so much better. And other people will see that this person was doing so much better. They all want to be like him, her, and this person want to still do the great job that he or she did, and like make this thing like, the energy flow is floating. And you have to understand this, and then you have to pay attention to it, and you have to bring this forefront, and it all starts within you, and then you have to start loving yourself first, and then you can give out more the right place, the love that you have to give. So I hope I was clear enough here. This was something happened this week, and it's been happening for a few weeks now, but this week finalized, and I'm trying not to like give you guys names or who said he said, she said, but this is what kind of happened. It should happen, and then this is where it starts all within. Start loving yourself, and then start giving out.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean you explained it really nicely actually. But yeah, I mean there is a big importance in you actually loving yourself, because when you love yourself, you tend to take care of yourself, not only and this isn't like only physically but also mentally. And so when you love yourself, mentally you're able to really actualize yourself and constantly improve yourself, and constantly, try to, do things better. Not only that, but also when you have that love for yourself, you also start to seek to understand yourself even deeper, because the more you're able to understand yourself, the better you're able to, pinpoint and narrow down, your journey, and know exactly, what you want out of life, as opposed to when you don't know yourself too well. It's very easy to get pulled, by other people's intentions and agendas and stuff, because you don't know yourself. You don't know exactly like what you're capable of, your potential, what you're worth, and all that comes from you loving yourself and putting some time into yourself and investing in yourself. And so that's why it's so important that you love yourself. That way you're able to decide, choose, make that decision from a place of like you knowing who you are, and being able to really offer them the maximum amount of value that you can, and being in the right place to be able to offer that. And so yeah, I mean this is something that I've been working on like lately, like these past 2 months I've been really strong and heavy on that, which is why I feel like I've been able to do like the amount of work I've done in these past 2 months has just been like I've never done that much work in my whole life. And that all came and like it's not like I wasn't capable of doing that much work. It's just that I just didn't know like that was the work that I was meant to do, and that's the work that I'm really connected with. So when I'm actually doing it, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels right. It feels natural. I mean, sure, it is hard work, but at the same time, it feels very like, time just flies, and it's just like, I'm very like, I'm able to focus and narrow myself into the work and connect myself with it so well. And that all comes from you actually knowing yourself and, loving yourself enough to push yourself at that degree, because as we're saying here, once you learn how to love yourself, you'll be able to love others. And so that's really what it translates to. So, you loving yourself, you investing in yourself eventually will produce something that, you're going to be able to share with others. And so the only way to really understand that and to love others and to be willing to share that is to really do that with yourself first. That way you understand the feeling, you understand the connection with yourself, and that way you're able to share that connection with other people and make those connections much more stronger and really learn how to love yourself and love everybody else. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, like, life is interesting, life is amazing, man. Like, when you find yourself in, like, don't ignore it, don't neglect it, just fucking take it head on and just work on it and then fix it. Next time something else will come up, but maybe not that anymore, And then slowly you start becoming wiser and wiser. So next, take chances, but measure the progress. All right, so a lot of opportunities comes about, and sometimes you have to make a decision to go after this one opportunity because you think that's really good deal or something that you've been striving for, and the opportunity comes, and then you're gonna go, and once you do, you're pretty much, you find yourself that you already are committed to it, and you have to continue going and hope for that it's gonna work out. Is it gonna work out? You don't know in the beginning. You're gonna learn eventually that if this is working out or not. But how are you gonna know? You're gonna start measuring the progress. Are we going towards the target, so to speak? What is the target? The target is to start selling this product, and we're gonna lay down all this work here to start selling this product. Now, when you're laying down the work, most likely it's a bunch of people doing it, and everyone's doing their job correctly, or some people are acting up, or some people are being lazy about it. What's going on? You have to measure the progress. And then this is true for your kid going to school. Is she studying? Are they doing their what they're supposed to do? Everything else same. It's just that we had a situation here. We had to measure the progress and kind of like come to a conclusion that it needed a change, and we actually took hard measures, and we kind of brought the change. And when you're doing something, you have to, from all the way in the beginning, you have to know this is part of the process. And when you get into an agreement, you can't stop measuring the progress. You must. And when you do, you're gonna see that if it's working out, and this is why I put this here, and I'm talking about it, and I know most likely everyone goes through something, somehow, somewhere, through adversities that they thought it was going to be a little bit different, but it wasn't. And yeah, I would like to hear from you guys. If you have any thoughts on this, please leave comment down below. I want to read what others are going through as well.
Yeah, so take chances but measure the progress. So yeah, man, once in a while, you're gonna have to take chances here and there. You know, you can't possibly know every single, like from every single action, you can't possibly predict like the outcome of it 100%. So, you know, in those cases, that's when you're taking a chance, you're taking a risk. And so, sure, you are taking a risk, but it's also important that you calibrate that risk and you know exactly like, okay, you know, like this is what we're doing. This is where we want to head to, and so you have to measure it out constantly, and you know, measure out that progress and see, you know, are we still heading in that direction? Are we still going towards the goal, towards the purpose, the target? You know, as he says, and you know, you have to measure that consistently, because if you just, you know, you just let it run, you know, just because you took a risk, it doesn't mean that, oh, now like it's just gonna work out. No, like you have to actually, you know, stay on top of it and measure it out and see like, okay, you know, like we took the risk, but now let's see, can we make a few adjustments here and there so that, you know, we give ourselves, you know, the best chance possible of success. So definitely it's important that you're always measuring, that you're always testing and seeing like the results of what you're doing and seeing like, okay, is this working? Is this not? Do we have to change something? Or should we just continue? Should we do more of that, you know, to increase it? Maybe you have to do more of it in order to make it work. Maybe you have to do less of it, or maybe you have to completely change it, you know, in order for you to make it work. But at the end of the day, you know, it all comes down to you know, getting closer to that target, you know, and you're pretty much just trying to figure out the path, you know, the way that you're going to get there. And so, you know, some things are going to work, some things are not, but you always have to consistently measure out, you know, what's going to happen. Don't just leave it up to luck. Don't just leave it up to faith that it's just going to, you know, magically work, because that's not how things work. You know, you have to, everything works with action, and you calibrating that action, being smart about it, and knowing where you have to cut certain things or people, and knowing where you have to, you know, put more of your resources or time or energy into, you know, certain things in order to, you know, get that success.
Awesome. Next is always look for good people and have an open mind. So good people is not easy to find. If you have good people, you better take care of them. Otherwise, they won't stay around. You know, for me, I went through a lot of people, and by the time I came about, you know, like creating a really good people team, it took a lot out of me, and I make sure I take care of these people, because end of the day they're taking care of the thing that I'm really working towards, and it becomes a team, and it becomes a like a mission of everybody. If everyone's, that's why I'm saying here good people, because the good people will come in and kind of like adopt the idea, the goal, you know, and make it their own and start working really hard towards this goal. Because this is the thing, you know, like people need, not for everybody, of course, but let's say people need a vision, a target where they can feel good about, and then they're not only working to make some money or to like make some ends meet, but also there is a vision, there's some kind of purpose, there is something that makes them feel good. You know, when you feel good, you start doing more, you start doing from your heart, from putting effort in something, you know. That's how things get done, things get accomplished, and like really great things happen, you know. That's why you need good people. Like this is as true as having good friends, like a good spouse, like you know, like this is the opposite of having disagreements, opposite of having you know, like what is the word when, like, I mean, there are families where they don't talk to each other. You know, they're like on each other's nerves. You know, this is the opposite of that. So everything starts within, and you have to have peace and unity in your family, in your house, wherever you are, and then that translates into your workspace and your relationships, like friendships and that kind of. And that's where everything starts from. And then when you become part of this team, this people, good people, and have a be part of a team or something, and that's where everything starts working out. And that's why I'm saying here, and have a open mind, because open mind is not only you're I'm gonna use the word narcissist, because there are other words too, of course, but don't be a narcissist. Don't think about yourself only, and think about how have with compassion. You have to understand somebody else's pain and somebody else's needs, and you have to kind of evaluate the situation and kind of be that person where you are not holding people down, holding yourself up. So you always gonna look for good people. This is why you got to find these people that they are emotionally balanced. They're ready to come in, and they have open mind. That they can come in and be part of the team and bring the team up to there's no limit, and so this is where things can go right or wrong. And this is, hopefully I was able to explain, this is a good really important component of building a team, or being a leader, or doing something with someone.
So always look for good people and have an open mind. So yeah, I mean, pretty much like you were saying, you find good people, and then well, I'm not a business owner, but I guess I'll talk about it from the standpoint of working for someone, entrepreneur, we can say. So
for sure, now you're more than ever.
So pretty much, I mean, looking for good people, as far as finding good people to work with and to work for, whatever situation you find yourself in. It's very important, because it's even more important than the job that you're actually performing, or whatever it is that you're doing at that place, because the people you work with, they can really provide you with that let's just say that whatever it is that you're looking for. So pretty much you have to recognize what your values are, and see what do you stand for in life and what you want out of life. And so this goes back to what I was saying previously. It's important that you know yourself. That way you're able to choose the right environment for yourself that's going to help you move forward. And for me in this case, good people to me, I need people who are positive, who are optimistic, who are honest, who make me feel comfortable, and who give me that space and that freedom to pretty much express my creativity, and be comfortable with doing those things, and have that freedom to express my ideas, and to be respected in the areas where I can perform really good and really well, and be able to be given that responsibility, because that's something that's important to me. So and all that came from me learning about myself and investing in myself and stuff like that. And so that's how I was able to choose. And after I explained in the previous podcast, where I was going back and forth, I left the company, and then I was all over the place and stuff like that. And that's when I was able to really think about it and see okay, where do I want to be, and funny enough, I realized, I was already in the right place. I just didn't know it. I never really took the time to really, think about it and study myself and really realize that I was already in a place where, things were already going well. And, I had pretty much my values were aligned here. So it was very natural for me to come back. And when I came back, it was very different now, because now I knew that I belonged here. This is the place where I wanted to be. So then at that point, I started coming in here. And when I was working here, it wasn't really, it wasn't about getting a job back, or working again, or making money, or asking like none of that stuff. It was more about just providing value. Now it was just about me coming here and doing everything that I could possible, working hard and doing everything that I could. And now I was more working now from the heart, as opposed to working like hourly or stuff like that. It was more from the heart now. And so I was from that point on, because I knew like this is the right place for me to be. Now I'm just like so grateful for the fact that that Varus gave me the chance to even come back here, and I definitely did not want to waste that opportunity. So I've every single day from then on, I've been I've just been pushing myself to really what was the word? I mean, capitalize really on the opportunity that he gave me to come back here, and really to, be able to still, help the company out and moving it forward. So, and to this day, that's really what I'm doing. I'm always pushing myself very hard, and and it's better than ever. And so that came from being surrounded by good people, and at the same time, having an open mind to do something like that, because I know that most people wouldn't do something like that, wouldn't devote, their hours and their time and their energy if they're not compensated right away. Most people want they want the reward right away. They want to put in the hard work, and right after they're done, they want to get compensated. And that's not how it works all the time. Sometimes you have to work really hard for months and stuff until something, you produce something. And so, yeah, but that's something that I've learned recently. And so, yeah.
That's one of the keys, man. But I'm grateful to you as well, because you understand, you know what it takes. And for me, from my point of view, my perspective is, when you have good people, don't fucking let them go. Do your best and fight for it, to keep them and bring them back as well. But also, I don't know. So the thing is, the last part that you said is so true, because if you want to make something great, you're gonna fucking fight for it, man. You gotta put your heart into it, and you don't know if it's gonna fucking work out. But if it does, then that's it. You made it. It's over. But if it doesn't, you're gonna go out there, do it again. Go out there, do it again, do it again, do it again. What do you have to lose? Nothing. To compensate, I've done festivals where people promised they were gonna come just help, and then by the end of it, they were all screaming, yelling on Facebook and everywhere that, we put this much effort, hours, and we didn't get paid anything. We're like, bro, you fucking said you were gonna come help. We didn't talk about any money. There's it's very weird, very you just diminished everything that you put out. You were right before you opened your mouth about that, you were just we were looking at you wow, this guy is amazing. Right now we're looking at you dude, you're just being very, very weird right now. And the thing is, you put the effort, you put the time, and it turns into whatever, whatever you're going after. Maybe it's money, then it turns into money, and then you take the money and do whatever you want with it. So let's continue. This thing is going down the line into what we're talking about here. It's all line. There are also what do I have? Here. Okay, there are musts in life, and one of them is you must learn how to work with people, with your people. So the thing is here, must, you have to pay attention to the word, to the meaning of it. The must is, there's no excuse in there, there's no maybe in there, it's must. If you don't do it, it's not gonna work out. It's not gonna happen. It's like you have to drop everything. Like you have to just become tunnel vision, and you must do this, and then there's a chance that it's gonna work out. So not work, and you must learn how to work with your people. Like seriously, like I can't emphasize enough that it's so important to work with people. If you have to learn people skills. If you don't have one, you can get it. How do you get it? Books. You know, like people created companies and they worked and they created amazing things, and then by end of their lives they wrote books. You can go read in a few hours. You're gonna learn this guy, what he went through in his journey, through life, and from there you're gonna get examples. You're gonna get really good points, and you're gonna implement them, and that's how you can get advanced into what you're doing. So these are must to do list, so to speak, right? So if there was a list, it's must to read books, to have people skills, to know how to work with your people, and when you do, and then things starts happening,
Yeah. So there are musts in life, and one of them is you must learn how to work with your people. I mean, definitely. I mean, this is essential. I mean, if you're thinking about like achieving a purpose, and in order to do that, you're gonna need the people that you're gonna be working. You're gonna be working with people, and so it's essential that everybody in your who you're working with, that everybody's comfortable with each other, and that there's that trust, there's that comfort, and then there's honesty, between everybody. Because like we just explained in the previous point, when the environment's right, when everybody feels like they're working with the right people and the good people, and everybody shares the same values, it's very it almost takes away that work elements where you feel like you're working, and that you're doing something that you don't like, and you're always like just procrastinating, and you just feel like you just don't feel very happy doing that. It takes that away, and actually when these people work with the right, in the right environment, they just feel very very excited, very motivated, very they see the work that they have to do, and everybody's just very connected, and as long as they know what the purpose is, everybody's willing to put in their best. And of course, part of learning how to work with your people is to know your people. You have to know what drives them, what are their passions, what are their values, and what do they got going in their lives, because that's also important. You have to know what each member of your team, what is it, what are they up to, what's going on, and stuff like that. You have to learn as well, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what do they struggle with. That way, when they're working as a group, obviously, if they have a certain weakness in a certain area, obviously, don't put them there, like put somebody else who can do that much better, and then put this person in a position, where they can use their strengths, because everybody should be using their strengths in order for them to feel comfortable, and to feel like, to be able to focus on the work as well, because once it's their strength and it's their passion, they're able to just focus and really dial into the work, as opposed to somebody who's working on their weaknesses. They're consistently failing, and on top of that, they don't like what they're doing. So if you don't like what you're doing and you're failing at it over and over again, that's just not and then you start to lose the purpose as well, then that's not a good place to be in. So it's very important that you learn how to work with your people. as far as like making them feel comfortable, and of course positioning them in the right place, and that everybody is happy and comfortable. That way, you know, they work happy, and because they're working comfortably, they're able to bring out the best out of themselves. You know, they don't feel like they're restricted in any way, and so, you know, they're very comfortable, and they're very, like, you know, they'll bring out the best because you know, they're doing something that they love, and at the same time everybody's working towards a goal, and everybody's going to be very happy with that once the vision is achieved, and, you know, the end result. And so, yeah.
Awesome. So we talked about must. Now there is shoulds, which is there are also shoulds. If life in life you should pursue the success of the team, because we're talking about developing a product or a business, or getting into something where it's going to end up making people some money, where they can help their lives, make their lives a little bit better. That's why we're talking in this manner. Otherwise, this could be something you could use this to break down something else. But right now, let's focus on what we're talking about. There are also shoulds in life. You should pursue a success of team. Now, sometimes I feel like I want to ask everyone to do this thing, and then I look and I kind of evaluate the situation, and I'm like, shit, you know, like I should let him do this now before I even open my mouth. Otherwise, I'm gonna stop everyone, and it's gonna cost the company more effort, money, time. It's gonna slow down everything. The whole process is gonna like kind of like gets shifted. If I bring in some other job and then throw into this whatever is happening here, it's gonna ruin the whole flow, and I should not do that. So there are a lot of shoulds we should pay attention to when we're doing, how we're doing, what we're saying to people in the team. So of course we're talking about the stuff happened this week, and this was happening past a few weeks, and we were trying to bring this into perspective, into like understanding, into like not this happening, not anymore. But of course we had to kind of like put the breakdown, and this should was completely going off the rails. So, and I kind of put a stop into it, and so that's what I'm talking about. There are a lot of shoulds in life, and then pay attention. You know, don't just do random things and make everyone just go out of whack, out of balance. You know, so
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there are shoulds in life, and pursue the success of the team. So pretty much, I mean, the team succeeds, then you succeed. You know, everybody succeeds. You know, to pretty much, you know,
Yeah.
together. So yeah, I mean, it goes hand in hand with the previous point as far as like, you know, taking care of your team, and that that you learn how to work with the team, and make sure you get that chemistry very high. You know, like you know, something that we sometimes talk about, something that Varus talks about, is how he manages the company as if it were a soccer team, you know, and it's like sure, you know, you can get the appropriate team, you can get everybody in the right positions, but another element that's also important is the chemistry of that team as well. You know, like how well does that team get along? Because sure, you know, you can position the players, you know, who play the positions, you know, really nicely. But if they don't get along, then there's going to be a miscommunication somewhere in the field. You know, they're not going to communicate well, even though everybody plays their positions really well. So you need chemistry as well. You know, you need these your team members to get along as well, and to understand each other, and to, you know, have that human connection as well. That way they're always connected, they're in sync, and they know exactly what they're doing. And they know how to respond to also like to whatever event that may happen, you know. So let's just say someone in the team, is unable to perform, they fail, something along those lines happens. You have to train your team what's going to happen. If this person fails, what's going to happen now. Like the last thing you want is like the whole team to just go full on, like get mad at that person because they couldn't do their part. So now you have to teach your team, whatever the culture is, like if somebody fails, maybe you encourage the person. You say, hey, you know what, it's okay. It happens, analyze your failure. What happened? Okay, this happened. Okay, try one more time. Why don't you try it this way? Why don't you try it that way? And maybe you got to go and have a talk with that person, and maybe the whole team goes to that person and encourages the person to, try one more time, motivate them, and then, so you train them to, motivate each other and stuff like that. And so, yeah, so definitely, I mean, focusing on pursuing the success of the team is very, very important.
Yeah, make sure if you're operating a team, everyone learns each other's name. Call it with names. That's where it starts from. Can you imagine you're playing in a game in a team and you don't know the guy's name or yeah. Pay attention and learn and become a team player, team member. You can't control others. You can only pursue your dream. Man, this is like really. When this happens, the link is broken already, right? The whole thing is falling apart. So, the opposite of this is you have to kind of control yourself, and then make sure everybody is controlling themselves, and no need to say some nonsense and make people not stay focused and fall out of the pursuit of the dream of the team. And if the team doesn't succeed, like you said, and it's over. It's like yeah. So it's very crucial, very important. Yes, to have the team always most likely like have small meetings and like have little coffee breaks or or something where everyone's like don't feel like they're just overworking, but also working. There's a reason pushing, So
yeah. So you can't control others. You can only pursue your dreams. So yeah, I mean, controlling others. I mean, you might be able to do it for a certain amount of time, but eventually, the other person's gonna realize what you're doing, whether they're aware, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. But eventually they'll start to have that little feeling, like something's not right here, like something's not right.
Even though you're paying them.
Yeah,
Still,
like something doesn't feel right here. Like it feels like like I'm not getting my part of the deal here, and so. Controlling other people is never a good idea because it never ends well. That's more of a short-term type of strategy there if you try to control people, because eventually, like I said, they're going to realize it and they're gonna leave. Not only that, but they're going to have resentment towards you because you made them, most likely you made them do things that they didn't really want to do. And of course, especially, if this person hasn't really invested in, into learning about themselves, they're just going to be like in a very bad place now because, they just got controlled. They got forced to do things they didn't want to do, but they ended up doing them. And now they feel, very bad for having, given into something that they didn't want to do in the first place. And so, yeah, it's just not good. Instead of controlling people, seek to understand people and learn what drives them, what their motivations are, and then use that to connect whatever motivates them to whatever it is that you want them to do. So help them understand the bigger picture here, and seeing how your abilities, what you're able to do, how that can actually you can contribute those that talent, that skill, whatever you have, you can contribute that to this vision here that I have. And so by doing that, realize that you yourself, your talent, your skill is going to grow along the way, because this is a long-term goal. So along the way, you're gonna be able to do your skill and your talent. You're gonna be able to maximize that, and at the same time, you're gonna help the company out, to grow and to achieve. So it's a win-win for the two. The owner, obviously, his company rises. For the person here who's working, his skill and his talent is just gonna grow exponentially as well. And so it's a win-win, and that's really how you should do it. Never try to control someone and force them to do something they don't want to do, because it's just not going to end well in the long run. And so never do that. And at the same time, you can't force, like I said, you can't force somebody to do something like that. It's really up to them if they want to actually contribute or they don't, because that in of itself is a skill. Some people have the talent and the skill, but they don't want to contribute that, and so they just want to be very selfish with their skill and talent, and just sort of use it for themselves only and not share that with anybody else. So at the end of the day, you can't force someone. If they don't want to do it, they just don't want to do it. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't pursue your own dream. If you have a dream to make this company big, and this person doesn't want to cooperate, then just let them go. Be like, okay, you know what? It looks like you have the skill. I believe you can do this, but if you don't want to do it, then I'll find somebody else. There's always other people who would want to have the same talent and skill, and who would want to contribute and actually share that and be a team player and actually understand how this actually works. So, but never give up on your dream as far as that goes. Always keep that alive, and naturally you'll be able to attract the right people that are going to help you out along the way to make that happen.
Yep, that's correct, and that's only a decision away. For that person.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, what you're describing is very true, which is like when I hired my jeweler, he became from this known company. When I learned that he became from this known company, all I had to see is one single thing, like how he did it. When I watched the way he did it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay you this much, and I want you to come. We don't need to discuss anymore. Because this is the thing. He went there and he created such a value. He learned so much in that company, and that company is a great company. And then he brought that value and everything that he learned with him to this company, to our company. And like 30 seconds. I already made up my mind. I already knew how much he's worth, and I knew he was going to bring my company up too.
Yeah.
So that's what you bring with you everywhere you go. You become that person, So that's true. I think you kind of talked about this, and I did too. Here, don't worry what others are doing. Concentrate on what you're doing. So pretty much we talked about that. I want to move on from there. Animosity and hatred, big words, have no place in business. It's all about advancement and the target. So like right before you start something, obviously you're gonna have a little meeting, and people are gonna know each other, they're gonna learn each other, they're gonna meet each other, and they're gonna be like, hey, we all want this. Let's call it this, the company name. Let's sell this product, maybe gold, silver, or gold, diamond, or CZ, or whatever. And we're gonna sell it this place, maybe Instagram or website, and we're gonna sell it this much, and maybe $50 or $1,000 worth of stuff. And then you just come up with this strategy and like planning and everything, and that becomes your target, right? And let's work towards making this happen. And when you start working and people start kind of talking behind back and saying like, this person's not doing this, supposed to do that, and then I did this much more. And so when that happens, it's like you're working not with the team anymore. You're kind of like working by yourself, and then that's like the team is falling apart. Now you're getting away from the target, that initially when everyone came together, put the target, and then the belief that this is what it's gonna take to succeed. And then when that happens, you wanna maybe take a break and put a breakdown and reevaluate the situation.
Bless you.
Thank you. All right, so this is what kind of happened, and I had to kind of like put the stop into it and reevaluate the situation. But you know what? The target is never going to change, because that's like really I want that to happen, and then whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. If I'm going to bring somebody else to take over and like allegate this to other places, bring outside source, whatever it takes, we're going to do it, because the belief that the target is such a what is the word, like overpowering, that here I got to do whatever it takes to make sure that this is going to happen, because I don't want this to go to waste, and we already did the initial work. All we have to do is like reallocate to different places, or find someone that willing to work on it from its own heart. It's that person's going to put the heart into it, and so we don't experience what we just experienced. Like I don't want to, but then basically their animosity and heartaches don't have any place in like working and achieving something great.
Yeah. So animosity and hatred have no place in business. So I mean, pretty much those two adjectives right there, are very negative. They're very down-putting. They're very stagnant, and so having those two in place, it just sort of puts a halt on it puts a halt on the business. So. And like we all know, negativity sort of takes you in the opposite direction of growth and advancement and going towards the target. And so you don't want those in business, especially because in business, it's more than just, this isn't just, it's not like a friendship, it's not like a relationship, where, if it doesn't work out, you can just easily drop it and, who cares? This is business, there's usually investment of time, energy, and money. And so, the losses are going to be much greater than just, as opposed to like a relationship or a friendship, And so you have to be you have to be more strategic when it comes to business and know exactly, what's going on. And so it's very important that there's a huge element of positivity, because it's not easy. Business isn't easy, and it's not easy to succeed in an area like this, which is why not a lot of people try it and not a lot of people succeed when it comes to business. So. And I think most of it has to do with the attitude, with having the right attitude, because so far what I've seen, you have the right attitude. If you're still positive about things, you can still maneuver and find new ways of doing things, and being able to find a solution in order for you to keep the business going and still thriving. So there has to be that positive attitude, and there has to be positivity, and everybody has to know like where they're going, and there has to be the right mindset has to be in place, the right mindset of growth. And of course, there's a lot of elements, of course, that can make it, that are going to make a business successful. But definitely animosity and hatred are not one of those things that are going to help you make the business successful. So it's better to not have those in business. So, which is why it's so important that, that when you're doing business, you really work on yourself. Working on yourself is so important. That's why, that you listen to pretty much any business course or anything along those lines, they always say, to invest in yourself. And and not only like investing yourself as far as like learning about business, but investing yourself as far as learning about yourself and learning how to manage yourself. Because it's extremely important that you know how to manage yourself, because I mean, if you can't manage yourself, how are you going to manage an entire company? It's just not going to happen. Like, you have to learn how to manage yourself first in order for you to be able to manage an entire company, an entire group of people as well. So definitely very important. So yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I think, right, this is how it's gonna continue. Learn how to say no when you're managing yourself. When you have to cut it, move on, and learn how to control your being nervous, I guess. Yeah, that's what I meant there. Basically controlled no, meaning you can say no left and right, and then everyone's gonna be like, that person is the no person. You can't go tell him anything, and he's always gonna tell you no. It has to be controlled no, because you probably need to explain something first, or you have to say yes on when it makes sense. So people can be like, okay, if it's yes, then it's go time. If it's no, then it's no go time. And so controlled no is essential. This is how you learn how to say no. It's a learning process. It wasn't easy in the beginning. I didn't know. I was like, I would say no, and then I question myself. What did I just say? Like, maybe I should let him do it. Like, what the hell? I didn't even know if it was like yes or no. It was like just like it was a learning process, And then sometimes I realized that if I said yes, it would have been better. If I said no, it would have been better. So that was like something that I went through. And you know what? If you step up and then you take that role and you start calling the shots, there's a learning process over there, learning curve, and you have to, if you're willing to take the heat and the fault, then you can actually do it, and it'll be fine. Nothing was. Rome wasn't built in one day or 1 week or whatever, So things take time a little bit. If you're willing to do it, that's gonna happen. But if you have to just cut it and then move on, then you have to be able to do that also, because a lot of times things don't make sense and people don't realize, and they're very persuasive. And they're just like want to do it because they want to find themselves if it works out or not. But if you already know, and then you've had the experience of this never works, never is a big word, but a lot of times I realize if you do it this way, it's not going to work. And when that happens, I learned how to say no really and cut it, and that's it. Don't talk about it, because for me, I feel this in my gut, because I've lost many times businesses and customers, clients, and time where I can bring back and everything, that when I feel it in my gut, I'm like, I don't want to see this movie again. It made my stomach turn over, and I don't want to experience it again. So I just cut it, and then sometimes I feel really bad, but also I feel like, you know what, the best thing for all of us, and I don't want to know the end of it, the results, even if it was going to work out. It's just like we would never know that, but when it's time to cut, you're going to cut it. And don't forget, controlled no.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that learning how to say no. I mean, that was like one of the things that I've been working on this year, pretty much. But even more strongly these past 2 months, because part of saying learning how to say no, I think it really comes down to really knowing yourself too. This goes back to knowing who you are. Knowing about yourself, knowing what you can tolerate and not. You know, your standards, they're all made up out of your values and knowing your belief system and knowing what you're going to stand for. And then once you know those things, you can easily say no to things because you know if that certain decision or that route, that option is going to align with your values and who you are and if it's going to move you forward towards your target or not. But if you don't know yourself, you don't know where you're going, you know, it's very hard to say no, and it can get very confusing to say no because you don't know where you're going. You don't know what you want out of life. You don't know what you're trying to get better at and what you're trying to avoid. You don't know any of these things. So it's very hard and confusing at times to say no. But and also, you know, it comes down to also, as we said previously at the beginning, you have to love yourself. You have to love who you are and have that self-respect as well for yourself to say no to certain things that are going to cause you to divert from your target. So definitely there's that. And of course, you know, at some point, you know, it may still even be hard to say no at times because you want to avoid confrontation. You want to avoid making the other person upset or something, and so you just hold back your no and you just say yes, and you're very passive and stuff like that. And believe me, that is the worst decision you can ever make. I've experienced that firsthand for many years where, you know, I wish that I would have just said no, and you know, who knows what would have happened if I would have said no. I would have probably been in a different place, but who cares? That's in the past. Working on it, I'm working on it now, and I can already see the difference that it makes once you. I mean, it's hard. I mean, even for me, it's still very hard to say no at times. But I actually feel better once I say no to something. If it's not gonna actually help out, it's not gonna move me forward or something along those lines. It's something that I have to do, and I feel better because I feel like I respected myself and I kept a certain standard, and I stood up for what I believe, and that's very important as well. So yes, you know, like you're saying, make sure that's controlled no, and that you know when to say no and cut it off, and when to say yes and approve, and you gotta control yourself and know exactly like where to do it. But yeah, I think the best thing you can do is really know yourself.
Yeah. Like one word changes everything in your mind, so that's why I have so many words like that, control, no, because end of the day, but life teaches you those things, and then like you come to conclusions of like no is too hard, not no is too stupid, like you lose a lot. But like when you have a little bit of explanations, changes things around, and yeah, just life teaches you. Let's move on to everyone loves to see progress. If you understand how to do it, you do it. Stop talking about it and making people obnoxious and upset. Just do it. So pretty much everyone, when you create a team, everyone gets a role, and then in their role they have to play their role. And like sometimes you start blaming the upper role person or the below you person, and making everyone obnoxiously upset, and just like those people can focus on what they're supposed to do, and everything is kind of like getting like the gear is not turning smooth, it's like tight, and everything is going slow, there's no progress, and you're not enjoying, and like stop doing all that, just do it, like that's what I'm saying here, just do it, because don't worry about the rest, what they're doing. I mean, obviously, if they're doing something wrong, you're not going to continue. You're going to be like, hey, can we have a little meeting here? Let's sit and talk about this, what's going on. But don't be what is the word? Like, like that person where you're the heavy, personality, and you're just like making things go really not so easy, and you're stagnating the progress, and you need to understand this, and then pay attention. What the heck are you doing? Listen internally. Listen to yourself, and don't make sense only for yourself and make yourself believe that you're in right. And just come about this with little bit of understanding that everyone is working, everyone is a little bit different, they all have different experiences. You have to learn. Sometimes people don't know how to turn off their mind. Sometimes people don't know how to relax their heartbeat. Sometimes a lot of things happening, and then you have to understand if you're talking to someone and that person can slow down their heartbeat. It's very different than somebody is very relaxed, calm, and understanding and focused, and then going about doing things. So you can't talk with the same tone to everybody. It's on you to learn people skills and start understanding where people are. Maybe somebody's mom is sick and they're not telling you, and then you kind of have to understand this. Like, shit. It's a little bit different today. What's going on? Come with a little bit of compassion and try to dig in and understand what's going on, and then bring your complaint and what are you gonna talk about. So don't be insensitive. Basically, don't be like pushing like without understanding. That's not gonna help the end goal, which is the target everyone's working towards, building something.
Yeah, so everyone loves to see progress. If you understand how to do it, you do it. Stop talking about it and making people obnoxious and upset. Just do it. So yeah, I mean, like you said, you gotta understand how to talk to people. Whether you're a boss or you're just an entrepreneur. I mean, you're still gonna be working with people, around you. Whether that's so you're gonna have to communicate. You're gonna have to understand like what's going on with everybody else, which is something I was touching on earlier, that you have to build that human connection with your team, and part of that human connection is really having discussions and spending time with the team, outside of business, because sure, the business, the vision, it's important. I'm not saying it's not, but at the same time, it's also important that you build that human connection, that everybody understands a little bit about their personal lives, as far as like what drives them, what are they going after, like what are they doing outside of work, that also matters, because whatever happens outside of work is also going to influence work at the same time. So you have to realize what's going on out there as well. And so always stay always have that awareness, always be aware of what's going on, where is everybody at, and how they're doing and stuff. And so if somebody's struggling, obviously go and extract data, go and listen, and before you even say anything, before you even try to implement some sort of like something onto them, like a consequence or something, or you're gonna go and threat them or something, and before you even do such a thing, go and listen to them, ask them what's going on. Maybe it is something personal that's going on in their personal life, or maybe it's the work itself. Maybe they don't quite understand it, they don't feel very confident, maybe they're still learning it, maybe they're still something's going on. And so it's always good to just go and listen. And so as far as like and if you don't do this, of course, you can make people very upset and stuff, because somebody who feels like they're just at that point, if you're not listening to them, chances are you're controlling this person, and you're just forcing this person to do something that's just going to benefit you, and it's not benefiting them. So make sure that you're always looking for that win-win situation. If that helps you out, just keep, to simplify this entire thing here, just always think win-win. Like, how can I make that person win as well? Like, they're performing, their win is my win as well. So always see it that way. Like, one wins, everybody in the team is getting wins, the whole company is getting a win for that. And so always see it in that manner. And yeah, man.
Yeah, so next question here we wrote, because this is the continuing. Now, we talked about not being insensitive, being sensitive, being understanding, being knowing that someone doesn't know how to bring their heartbeat down, or they can shut their brains off. Now this is the thing. When there is a team, there is a different roles, which is here I'm saying the difference between the leader, the worker, and the consultant are the kind of roles what kind of roles they play and what they need to be in sync. Now this is the situation. Now I'm going to explain really quickly. This is whole separate podcast, and maybe like not even podcast. We should make a video out of this, or maybe like write a book like this. But this is the difference between leader. The leader is, for me, anything happens is my fault, even if I didn't do it. Anything happens in the business, in the shop, is my fault. This is how I can fix the situation. I can fix the faults, so these things don't happen again. And I don't wait anybody. I don't wait anybody come and telling me to take action. I just take action when it's important, necessary. I take the action. There's no one coming. Nobody's coming to tell me that this is good for you, or this is, if you do this you're gonna fail. It's up to me to make a decision and jump. I just perform. I just do it. And when I'm performing, when it's something important comes along, I don't stop and go over there. Oh, I have to go to my friend's barbecue, my friend's kid's barbecue, birthday, this person is sick, that happened, that must go there. Nothing matters to me. All it matters is the well-being of the goal. And I pursue. This is my role. This is not necessarily your role. This is what the leaders do. If you want to take leaders' role, you have to do this. If you're not willing to pay the price, then you cannot be a leader. Okay, so next is the workers. Like, you have to have workers, employees, team members, everything like this. All these people, they're gonna have certain what is the word? Certain roles to play, and when they're playing their roles, they cannot cross play a lot of the times. And when this person is finished their role, this person doesn't finish correctly, then nothing is going forward. This is like, you have to make sure that this is happening correctly. There's got to be one person allocating this whole situation. Now their role is very different. Their role is, they have something to finish, they do it, they finish it, and they're done. They're waiting for the alligator, the person to give them more job or whatever is going on there. So this is different situation here. Now there is a consultant. The consultant is the outside person. Comes in, says, you must do this. If you don't do this, you're not going to succeed. If you do it this way, and he's out. Now, who's going to do this? Oh yeah, the team has to step up and kind of like do this. And if we don't, that person's gonna come and probably talk shit to us. And so everyone has a role. There are different departments, different roles, and you have to understand this is a game, and this is how it's played. And if you don't play it right, end of the day, there's not going to be enough money to go around. Or you in order to play into your full potential, you have to perform. Everyone needs to perform highly, and that's when you have the best chance to bring in the results. And pretty much need to be in sync. Yeah, everyone needs to be in sync, and if you are, yay, you guys are a really good team, and everything is all right. Yep.
Yes.
Try to explain this now.
You explain everything, man. But well, here's the thing. I mean, I think that pretty much everybody in the team should have a certain level of all these three inside of them. Sure, one of them is going to be more dominant than the others, but To a certain degree, I think everybody should have some sort of degree of that, and I'll explain here why. So of course, like he explained, pretty much in summary, the leader, of course, the leader is the one who's going to be in charge of pretty much managing the team, make sure everybody's doing good, and that making sure that everything's getting done, and pretty much just supervising everything. And of course, they got to do whatever it is that their role is. As the leader, they may have to take most of the toughest decisions are going to be made by the leader themselves, and so they're already doing what they have to do. And so that's the leader aspect. And you have the worker who's pretty much performing a specific role within the team, and so they're doing what they pretty much do best in whatever area that they're performing. But they're not, obviously, they're not doing the things that the leader is doing. They're not making huge decisions. They're probably just making small ones within their own role, and so that's good. And of course, you have the consultants who's pretty much I would say is more of a somebody who has experience, somebody who's able to coach everybody and make sure that everybody's doing good, and that somebody who's very good at asking questions and very good at actually dissecting somebody and knowing exactly like what's going on, and be able to put that person back in a right place and the right path according to who that person is. Because there's a lot of things, a lot of advice out there. There's a lot of, information out there, but it's another thing to be able to tap into a person's mind and be able to tell them exactly, what they need to hear in order for that concept to click with them, and so that they're able to go and take action. So like I said, like they all have to be, like the leader should also have that element of being able to work and be able to perform, his side of the equation, to the max, not just lead and take decisions, but also work hard and set the example for everybody else. And also, the leader should have some sort of level of consulting and be able to, know exactly and assess, the team properly, and be able to, and also have some sort of consulting for himself as well, so that, he's able to manage himself. Because usually the leaders are the ones who, they don't have that much, they don't have too many people to rely on, since they're the leaders at this point. And so, people are relying on them, but, then they have to pretty much be self-reliant and rely on themselves. So they need that self-consulting. As far as the worker's got to be a leader within his own, within his role. So he's got to, when anybody tries to tap into that role, he's got to be able to say like, hey, talk with certainty within that role. So whatever it is that they're doing, so have that leadership role, and of course, be able to consult themselves. And of course, the consultant is also working, and of course, be a leader as far as like, be able to consult other people as well. Yeah.
Nice. I guess a little bit of help would be nice to the workers, and to like help them to,
of course,
realize, understand. That's awesome. We're almost to the end, and remember, you guys, we're a jewelry company, Kabartsi, and we have a website. Recently, Luis is doing tremendous changes to the website. It would be nice if you guys have a moment, go check and tell us what you think with the new changes. We'll like that. Thank you. So this is almost the last question here, and let's talk about this, where we're not going to live 300 years old. I always say that because I feel like people all around me, they talk like they'll do it tomorrow or next year. I'm like, wait a minute, like, what are you talking about? Life is flying by, and you just have finite of time, man. You can't just think like you're gonna be here 300 years and then you can do it next 100 years later or something. Like, it's really insane, Life is an experience. People don't do the shoot and do the selfish thing. So because life is not 300 years old we're gonna live. We're gonna live maybe, if you're lucky, 80, and after 70 you're pretty much out of commission. You're just reaping the fruit of all your labors that you've did previously. That's why you have to you should take this seriously. You should work your ass off. You should create something for you and for your family, for your, if you want generational wealth, that's another level. And you should do a lot of things because no one's coming. No one's going to do it for you, and you don't have 300 years. And don't do selfish thing, meaning like don't be a prick, don't be an idiot, don't just go drink alcohol and do drugs and do like a bunch of other things that you shouldn't. You should do the thing that matters in life. If you want to do that kind of life, it's fine, but don't drag other people down with you. You can do it for your, unfortunate, but you know, I'm not going to continue more about that, but take it seriously. You know, this is serious. This is, you know, there are people like us, we take this seriously. So we don't want other people to come in and play games and play around, and we don't want that. You know, there's no place in this environment. When we see that, we just put a cut, stop everything, change the passwords, and then get it over with, and then continue our path of success. And no one's gonna stop us, you know. And you should do the same. This is our should, and you should have your own should. And we're not gonna live 300 years old, so it's now. And now is important, and now is, we have a lot of shoots that we must do, and we're gonna do it. No one's gonna stop us, so no one should stop you too. Take this very, very seriously. Life is not it's a precious thing, you know, not a joke. And a lot of people, they wish they did this, that, they have a lot of regrets in the end. Don't have one. If you can avoid regrets, start doing it right now. And yeah, our shoots are very, very important to us and very precious, and no one can take it from us. We guard it with our all all our hearts and our you know, like we really, really seriously, we guard it. And yeah, you should do that too.
Yeah, so we are not going to live 300 years old. Yeah, so yeah, this is very true. I mean, this is yeah, we're not gonna live forever, and so you have to realize that, you know, there's only so much time that you have. So what really matters is what you're gonna leave behind, because that's really what's gonna stay here. I mean, you're not gonna be here for forever, and so that should be your primary focus as far as, like, you know, what you can do and what you can leave behind, and of course, you know, as well, like who you can inspire along the way as well, because, you know, that inspiration can really, you know, you can pass that on to other people, and then those people, you know, can go and do their thing, and they'll always, you know, remember that, you know, that inspiration, you know, came from you along the way when they were when they needed that inspiration. You were there, you were pushing yourself, and so that's really how this happens, you know. And because you inspire them, who knows, maybe they go on and, you know, now that they're inspired, they go on and they create something that's very revolutionary, and so, you know, that goes on. And so, you know, it's always good to be able to, you know, provide that value and everything for other people, and of course, you know, for the world, and, you know, whoever it is that you want to make an impact on. But you have to realize that, you know, it's not like we're saying here, you know, no, don't do the selfish thing. You know, a lot of people like to do the selfish thing, which is just focus on themselves and always, you know, focus on their feelings, focus on how they're feeling, and, you know, focus on pretty much just them. And, you know, like, to a certain extent, of course, you know, obviously take care of yourself, but, you know, if you have some sort of value to offer, like, why hold it back? You know, why just why only focus on yourself 100% of the time when you can actually be devoting your time and your energy towards something outside of yourself, and being able to provide value for other people. And so it's just not it's not all about you, and so you have to understand that. And that's really it goes back to what we spoke about in a previous podcast, which was humans are ultimately built to serve. We're built to serve other people and leave a legacy and make an impact, and that's not going to happen if you just focus on yourself and assume you're going to have all the time in the world to do something like that in the future. The time is now. The time is now to start doing whatever it is that you want to do. Like, you got to do it now. Sure, you may not get what you want right now, but you can start taking steps right now towards getting that what you want. And that's really what it's all about. It's about the journey, not necessarily about the destination. So you have to find something that you want to go after and start embarking into that journey and start taking steps. Start taking steps every single day. And a lot of people tend to be very negative with this, and they tend to that's going to take a long time, it's going to take years, it's going to take forever, why even bother. Don't listen to those people. Don't listen to that type of stuff that tells you that, just focus on the things that you can get right now, this very instant. Because those things, for the most part, things that you can get easily in a minute or two or that same day, for the most part, they're not very valuable. The great things, the big things, those take a lot of time. Most of the things that you see to this day, they took a long time, years to develop. Everything from the technology we have and most of the things that we have, to this day, those weren't things that somebody just created from one day to another. Those are things that took a lot of time. But it was thanks to a person who believed in that, along the way, that made it happen. And so, just realize that, and don't wait, because you might not have this opportunity tomorrow,
Yep.
So start today. The time is now.
All right. Thank you. And we are the last question. The thing here is Develop Your Mindset podcast. So we always finish with the Develop Your Mindset and gift yourself today. So life is a gift, and you should be thankful for it. And you have to develop your mindset about gifting yourself, and you have to put yourself in a place where you deserve and you working really hard towards, and this is gonna come to you, and then this is come from mindset. Comes from believing something that it's going to happen to you, because what you're working towards, or you're paving the road towards success, and to come back to you. And this is all development, this is mindset, this is how you have to think, you have to focus, you have to work towards, and it will turn around, it will come back to you, or you will catch up to it. So whichever happens first, this is how you're gonna get there. So in order to develop your mindset is make sure you read some books, you do some courses, you do some listening, you find people that they know a little bit more than you do, and then they're willing to open your ears, close your mouth a little bit. Last 2 hours I'm talking here, don't do this one, open your ears, do the one that you're watching this video, and then you're gonna get a lot out of that and kind of behavior. And it's develop your mind and go out there and kick ass.
Yeah, so develop your mindset and gift yourself. Yeah, pretty much. Gift yourself and study yourself. That's something I touched on heavily on this podcast, to really learn yourself, learn about who you are and what you want out of life and what your values are, and that's going to help you tremendously to be able to pinpoint exactly where you want to go, and have a clear direction, and be able to say no to things that you don't want in your life, and be able to say yes very firmly to the things that you do. And of course, you learn about yourself will make you a better leader, a better team player, and just better all around. So make sure that you always invest in yourself. Like you said, study, take courses, read books, and always continue learning, because the more you learn, the more you'll be able to really understand who you are and what you're going after, and you'll be able to really make a difference and make an impact wherever it is you want to do that. So
Awesome. So we're done. Thank you, Luis. It was amazing, man. There was a lot of breakdown, but a lot of heavy week, and I'm glad it's over. We're gonna do this again next week. God willing, and so we appreciate you guys for being here while listening to us. If you finished this 2 hours, you're amazing, and I hope we put out some really good value for you guys. And we'd love to hear from you guys. If you have anything to add to this, we'll appreciate. Leave some comments down below, and that would be amazing. Great week. I can't wait to do it again next week. And we'll see you guys next week. And Luis is gonna close.
So thank you very much again for watching another episode, and hopefully you've learned a lot in this episode. We shared a lot of content, and so make sure to check the links down below. There's a couple of them down there. Everything from our shop. You can check out our Develop Your Mindset podcast merchandise. Everything from these mugs to our shirts to other things that you can get with the Develop Your Mindset podcast branding on it. So if you want to support the podcast, that's the way to do it. And of course, there's going to be links to our social medias and everything. And of course, our website, kabartsu.com, where you can find some of our jewelry over there. And where, like you said, I'm the one who's working on that website, and I've been, reformatting it. So, probably by the end of when you're watching this, it's going to be like a completely different website if you've been to it before. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be good. And so, thank you very much. And I hope to see you in the next episode.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone. Thank you, Luis.
Thank you.